Welcome to Pharmacy in Focus, where I will be having pocket-sized conversations on current topics and interests relating to pharmacy and the wider health sector. My name is Sharina Vasan, bringing you Pharmacy in Focus on behalf of the Pharmaceutical Society of New Zealand. Welcome to this episode of the Pharmacy in Focus podcast. My name is Sharina Vasan. Some of you may have heard about the Girlboss Edge healthcare program that was running in April of this year, 2023. It was a 10-day online program for 15 to 18-year-old young women who have an interest in healthcare or well-being. Part of this program included having mentors register for a single mentoring session with these women to discuss any questions, impart any knowledge, and to inspire them on their journey into healthcare and well-being. Now, I found out about this program quite incidentally when an old colleague let me know about it. So initially, I inquired into this program to find out a little bit more about what it was about. And found that actually I was the only pharmacist that had registered, but there were quite a few young women that had an interest in pharmacy. So through the Pharmaceutical Society newsroom, we promoted this mentoring opportunity to the profession. And there was a great uptake of pharmacists and pharmacy technicians to this. So in the coming episodes, I will be chatting to some of these pharmacists and pharmacy technicians about their experiences mentoring these young women. And to start off, today I have Palki Kaur with me, who is a pharmacy technician and pharmacy accuracy technician as well. So welcome, Palki.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sharina. It's an absolute pleasure to be in conversation with you again. Thanks for having me.
To get started, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your career so far?
Yeah, sure. As you already introduced me as a PACT technician, and I'm working full-time. Originally, I'm from New Delhi, India, and I've been living in New Zealand for past 14 years. In India, I studied a degree in Bachelor of Commerce and Honors, and at the same time, I was doing chartered accountancy. My goal was to do MBA, but then something happened with the family-wise, and my dad passed away, and I really didn't like to stay in India anymore. So then I started applying overseas for going abroad and having education. But I was going to Australia initially, but then destiny just brought me here in New Zealand, so that I can sit in front of you and give my interview. So I studied diploma in business management. At that time, there was a recession going on, and there was not many jobs. So I was looking to get work in all the fields. And then I found job in pharmacy through a friend and acquaintances. And it's a good opportunity because as a business graduate, pharmacy industry is also a business industry. And then I studied pharmacy technician, national certificate in pharmacy technician. And then along the way, I become PACT, and I'm now studying further in pharmacy, doing my diploma. And yes, it is. It's quite a journey. It's a very big journey that I had. Yeah. I can't believe 14 years have passed. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us here in New Zealand rather than going over the ditch to Australia. And it's great to hear that you actually moved from a completely different industry into pharmacy. And now that you're in pharmacy, you're continuing your studies as well, which is amazing. So before we carry on into the main topic, can you just tell me a little bit about how you found your studies in pharmacy, because it is quite different to what you've done before?
It's not different because they said that the requirement is only you should be having knowledge of mathematics and English. So I, at that time, what used to happen from Academy New Zealand, I did my technician's certificate, and they used to have pharmacy assistant and then pharmacy technician, so like 2 years course. Now they have modified the course, but at that time, And they used to take pre-evaluation assessment where you will be interviewed by the teachers, by the lecturers. And if you pass that assessment, then you get exemption of 1 year, and you get 1 year's fees exempt. And I think out of all the Indians that we were in that program at that point of time, I was the only one who passed that pre-evaluation assessment. So I saved quite a money being an international student.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's also because I was struggling to get my residency, as you know, all the immigrants at that point of time. And pharmacy technician it's a good course that I thought that it's even for career-wise. So it's not like I got my residency and I left working from the pharmacy. No, I still want to carry on, and it's really knowledgeable, and yeah, very like the guidance and support I received through my teachers and my mentors. It was incredible journey.
Wonderful. Thank you. And now you're carrying on to do your diploma as well.
Yeah, I'm more interested in doing business at some point in my life. Or something into the business, like growing up the business or something like that. Yeah, I'm more interested in that side, as well as having the pharmacy experience and education. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So let's move on to the mentoring program now. What motivated you to register to be a mentor for the Girlboss Healthcare program?
So, as a business graduate, I always have this ambition to become an entrepreneur, just like I just mentioned. And I strongly believe that one of the most important traits of a successful entrepreneur is to have the ability to guide and inspire others toward achieving their goals. And this is only possible through effective mentorship. Because when you become a mentor, you not only help others achieve their goals, but also you gain valuable experience and knowledge that can be applied to your own business ventures. I believe that. There are many business people I know, they're great mentors.
Right. And I guess it's also important to acknowledge that you don't have to be a business graduate per se, that anyone can mentor
anyone.
other staff and colleagues.
It's just me. What I study, as a leadership, you study about leadership and you want to become leader. So that's a part of the program, of that course. So yeah. So, but amazing. Anybody can become mentor. Becoming mentor is not you gain any knowledge academically, but something your personal growth from the time period that you spend with your family or at professional level, like the hardships that you go through and how you overcome. That's, I think, makes you a mentor.
I have one other question for you around that. Was that your first mentoring experience?
Yeah. It's actually my first formal mentoring experience, but I do have experience in guiding and teaching others. Like as one of the senior technicians in my workplace, I train new technicians, which has given me this opportunity to share my experience and knowledge with them. And that experience has helped me in developing the skill that I was able to bring to my role as a mentor at Girlboss.
And is there anything about the mentoring sessions with these young women that stood out to you?
Yeah. So I had the pleasure to mentor 4 young women through Girlboss program, and they were very curious and excited to learn about the outside world of workplaces. So they shared some of the interest in becoming GP nurses and pathologists, and they did raise some concerns about like low confidence, fear of being judged, or fear of failure. And there's a very crucial and sensitive topic that they touched is discrimination. So that was quite surprising. But I hope I did well. I did give them some insight from my own experience. I did face discrimination myself in my personal life, not at a professional level. So I chose not to share my painful story and scare them, but instead I offered some insightful advice that I hope it helps them. That people generally are wonderful. So it's important to just best to be kind and respectful towards everybody. So
I can understand how that would be quite tough for some young people nowadays, not just young women, but across the board. But what you mentioned about being kind and respectful, I think that's ultimately, if you go through life with your aim of being kind and respectful and non-judgmental, then that will put you in good stead.
Yeah.
Let's move back on to these young women and some of the questions that they may have asked you. Were you surprised by their knowledge or their interests or anything during those conversations?
I've already mentioned about the discrimination part. That was one. And another thing is I really like that they're already poised about their career perspective. From the career perspective, they already chosen their careers and what they want to do. And their honesty and their willingness to openly share their concerns about those barriers of life. So that was quite surprising. And I gained some valuable insights while I was stressing the importance of, those confidence and importance of confidence, self-belief, and how to overcome fears of failure and judgment. So yeah, overall, I feel it was great opportunity for your personal and professional growth. Is that what I can say? Yeah.
Right. And if an opportunity like this came up again, would you take it?
Yeah, of course. Actually, what happened is I recently received an email from a US-based organization for a screening interview for mentoring. And it is a similar process where I will be mentoring online. So if I pass the interview. So so that is something I'm looking forward to it. So, and also I let Vicky know as well that I would like to sign up for the rest of my life at the Girlboss program.
Lovely.
And they do it during school holidays, which is good. And you get to choose your own timings of session. So I usually choose it in the weekend. You can choose Saturday.
Amazing.
So it motivates you as well as even if you are a mentor. Yeah,
that's right.
Like how I'm talking to you right now. I can feel I'm feeling good.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad. And let's now move on to those people that are already technicians or technician students. What would you like to say to other technicians about mentoring and supporting their fellow pharmacy technicians and technician students?
It's a very good way of developing your knowledge and experience that you need in your life. But before that, I would like to offer the advice to those technicians who are considering training or mentoring others is give yourself at least 5 years of personal and professional growth to really develop the knowledge and expertise necessary to mentor others effectively. Because by doing so, you will be well equipped and confident in your approach to providing guidance and support to others. I would like to relate an example. It's my favorite example that how before an iron can become a shiny sword, it has to go through the process. Like it must be first cooled, heated, punched, and shaped until it becomes a strong and a sharp blade. So similarly, to become a mentor, it requires a process of sharpening and refining your skills and knowledge. So yeah, give yourself that sufficient time. But yeah, why not? I'm a technician, I've done it. Other technicians, they can do it. Just give yourself that time because you need to have your own book in front of you when you are going to give somebody else the lesson. Yeah.
Having those experiences behind you.
Yeah. It's not like you're just a 1-year-old in a profession. You're still trudging carefully, putting your baby steps, and then you start mentoring. So that's not, I suggest at least 5 years is a good time.
Thank you for that. And for any other technicians or technician students out there who want to have a mentor, what would you say to them? Yeah,
my advice to those people who are seeking support from mentor is that what you're asking, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was your question in mind. Is first identify your goals and objectives. That's very important because once you are clear of what you want to achieve, then you seek a mentor. Yeah, so So it's important to build a strong and open relationship with your mentor and to be willing to listen and learn from their experiences. So mentees should also be proactive, just like I had. They were very open and take ownership of their learning by asking questions, seeking feedback, and actively working towards their goals. Like, so finally, I would say that it's important to remember that mentoring is a two-way street, and mentees should also be willing to give back to their mentor by sharing their experiences and insights.
So the learning went both ways during your mentoring sessions.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Hey, thank you so much for your time today, Palki. It was really great to have you on the podcast today to learn a little bit more about your background and your experience.
Before I take a leave, I just would like to say something that I appreciate the way you approached me, the thoughtful questions you asked, which have led us to this moment. And I'm really inspired by your dedication to empowering women and making positive impact on society. It's truly inspiring. And one great example of this is the implementation of PACT program, which I'm proud to specialize in. And you always look after that section of pharmacy industry, which most of the time gets neglected, the pharmacy technicians. So I would feel honored to interview someday. And this way, it would allow me to express the gratitude of all pharmacy technicians towards you. So
thank you very much. For anyone that's listening today, Palki was probably in one of the last PACT cohorts that I did, and that would have been, just before COVID hit.
2019 June, yeah.
Yeah, so the year before, and then I went on maternity leave, and the lovely Liz Johnson took over the education and training division after that. So Palki and I met all those years ago, and we've just recently reconnected for this podcast. So thank you very much. It's great to hear how you're going, that you're working in your checking technician role, that you've got other roles that you're doing within the workplace as well, that you're carrying on your diploma. I think you'll be a real inspiration to some of the other technicians that are out there in the workforce right now. So, and adding mentoring to your to the lists of things that you can do, and the time that you are willing to dedicate to the profession and to the wider healthcare sector. So that's wonderful.
Thank you. I call it a persistent, pragmatic approach. I think everybody should follow it. It's good. Keeps it going.
It does.
Thank you so much for having me. I mean, it was lovely talking to you. It's always fun.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.